Yes, yes, we would like to.
We're going to go on to take that question.
I'm gonna ask if we can stop now, because it's been more than 24 hours since
That's
today.
why we're stopping.
Yeah, okay.
So if you want to follow this dosage, I can't give him medication.
I got it.
Yours is
How many do you take?
Says one.
Okay, oh, you need me to read it? It says, take one tablet by mouth once daily. Is that what you do? You said they increased your dosage. All right, so this is up to 30.
If it's white, I have to take 2.
Look, I don't want you.
Yeah, I watch it all the time. Yeah, if it's white, I only take 2.
Two. So you're taking 16. Yeah.
They take 1 milligram. I don't even take them stuff.
I'll take the prescription.
Okay. Do you want me to get them?
You have to, I cannot get it.
Okay.
I will secure this and get back to you when I find it.
Okay, thank you.
You don't need it one time.
Just one time, right?
Thank you.
So what did you do?
I apologize, we're having live streaming problems, so give me just a minute. Okay, we're good. Some reason it didn't, said we were and we weren't, so I think we're good now. Fred, you're gonna monitor it? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Shackelford, I apologize.
I think she's still with us.
Oh, go ahead.
You were saying, Sergeant, that there's a protocol in place and you have to leave the person unattended for a specific period of time?
Yeah, so an observation period, make sure that he's okay.
Okay, and how long is that period of time?
15 to 30 minutes, somewhere between.
Between 15 and 30 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say that the person's unattended, that means, and would you agree with it, there's no one in the room with them, they're in the room by themselves?
Yes, but he's being monitored.
Okay. And so, you've indicated that you have Mr. Evans fill out the advice of rights form and sign it. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct.
Okay. And then do you immediately begin interrogating Mr. Evans, or do you leave and go somewhere?
Well, we begin to speak at that point.
Okay. And just so that I'm clear, during this interrogation, you're the person that's doing the interrogating, and there's no one else present, correct? Okay. And so you've indicated that it's your recollection that Mr. Evans tells you you're saying that he told you at the end of the interrogation that he was under the influence of intoxicants?
It wasn't at the beginning, it was towards the end of the interrogation.
Okay, and what did you do in response to that?
At that point, we were already in talk. He had already disclosed certain things. We continued to talk.
I think I asked you this. Did you indicate that at no time during the whole questioning, at no time did Mr. Evans ask to stop or to have a lawyer?
No.
That would be no, he didn't?
Yes, no, he didn't.
How long was the interrogation?
Interrogation. I can't give you an exact time, ma'am. I honestly don't know. I want to say the time that he was with me.
Yeah.
That entire time. He signed his advice rights form at 6:03, and I want to say they end up leaving. It was after midnight.
Okay, so about 6 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that 6 hours of questioning, did you stop to give him food or water? Did that
He
happen?
was offered water, I believe he had food and he was offered bathroom breaks.
Okay, what made you believe that he had food?
I'm trying to recall if he came with food or not,
Okay,
but I know I offered him water and stuff of that nature.
okay. What about medication? Did you ask him about any medication that he was on or that he needed to have administered?
I believe I did ask him about his medication and when was the last time he had taken it,
Okay,
but not
and,
whether he needed it right then.
okay, so you asked him, when was the last time he took it, but not whether or not he needed it during the interrogation?
Correct.
Did he give you any indication of what the nature of his medical conditions were?
I believe he stated he was in a car crash previous, so he had medication from injuries sustained in his car crash.
Okay, did he discuss with you having sustained a closed head injury or injury to his head and brain during the interrogation?
He did.
Did you question him and ask him whether or not that injury would affect his ability to communicate with you, or if it affected his ability to understand the form of what you're asking?
I did. That's why I asked him if it was anything that he needed me to further explain, or if he didn't have any, if he had questions about it, to ask me and I would go into further detail. But he said he was okay regarding understanding what he was signing.
And during the 6 hours of questioning, was that continuous? I might have asked you this already. You indicate that you took certain breaks. Do you recall how often you took breaks or how many breaks you took?
I don't recall how many breaks I took. No.
I have no further questions of this witness. Your Honor.
Ms. Shackelford?
Just to follow up on some of that voir dire, sir, do you recall, aside from offering Mr. Evans water, do you also recall giving him a granola bar during the interview?
Yeah, that's normally part of what I, offer water, granola bar, stuff like that.
And did Mr. Evans tell you, now you saw him about 6 p.m., right? Did he tell you that he was arrested that morning?
I believe he did, yes.
All right, and do you remember, you said Ms. Watt asked you, did he tell you he was under the influence of drugs? You recall that? So he told you he had done some cocaine at some point prior to his arrest, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Was there anything about his demeanor or his behavior that concerned you or caused you to believe that he was not in his right mind and understanding what you were telling him?
No, not at all.
Okay. And did he appear lucid at all times?
He was coherent. He understood what I was saying.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And was he responding appropriately to questions or to the discussion you were having?
Yes, he was.
All right. And did that change at any time throughout the amount of hours you spent with him?
No, it did not.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move for admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 32.
And Your Honor, I am not going to object for exam purposes only and take the issue further.
Okay.
Judge, I guess now is as good of any time as just to make a record that it's my understanding that this witness's testimony is not, cannot be used against my client, at least not at this proceeding at this time.
And the same thing for you. That's fine.
And Sergeant, I'm gonna just play a little clip of the audio of that interview so you can tell me if you recognize it.
And Your Honor, may I just put one thing on the record?
Yes.
This is not the complete interview as we had discussed in the back. It's been redacted.
My understanding is a complete interview is in excess of 6 hours or something like that.
That's correct.
That is correct. And
And this is-
because this is a probable cause hearing,
Mhm.
I had no objection to the redaction for preliminary exam purposes.
And it's down to under an hour. is
I
my-
think we've got it under an hour, yeah.
Okay,
I just want to know.
okay.
Yeah, please.
What they saying, I'll tell you, they came,
Can you pause that? Do you recognize your voice in that audio?
Yes, I do.
All right, and do you recognize Shane Evans in that audio?
Yes, I do.
All right, do you need to come and view the screen real quick if that would make you feel more comfortable before I start playing?
I'm comfortable.
You're comfortable? Okay, that is the interrogation, or at least a portion of the interrogation that you did back on that date. with Shane Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, with that, I would move for admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 33, which is the clipped interrogation of Shane Evans.
No objection for exam purposes.
Objection in my case, Your Honor.
Yes, objection in my case as well.
Well, we all agree, Your Honor, this can only be used against
That's
Mr.
correct. Yeah,
Evans.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
right, but we have to make a record.
I hear you. All right, we're ready. You can play.
3 other dudes. Well, no, 2 is my brother and 2 other people. Okay. It was, well, I thought his name was his brother's name. I guess his name is Chico. I thought I had to switch up. Okay. Chico, my brother Timmy, and I didn't know the other dude. I never had seen him until that day. He's a dark skinned dude with tattoos. And they say call him Art. And I asked police, do y'all have him? Because when they quit on my house, they was like, hey, can we get some weed? I'm like, well, basically, I got some bullshit weed. They're like, no, we're trying to get some weed. I'm like, okay, let's go. So you already know what that meant from right there. We trying to grab some weed. Yeah, I ain't got no money like that.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So this is what I don't want to do. I don't want to assume anything.
Okay.
I don't want to assume anything. So I need you to tell me
Okay.
flat out.
Okay.
Bring it down to me like I'm 3rd grade.
So they asked me to get some weed from. I said, whoa, I think my man is out of town, but I was a split. Okay. No, he's out of town.
Okay, you knew he was out of town?
Right at the moment, I went, yes, now, yes. Okay. All right. I knew he was out of town, because I can't do that shit no more. I can't even take it. Knew he was out of town, and knew the house was empty. Okay. I rolled past it. He was following behind me in the truck. And the other 3 people in the truck, them 3, we rolling like this. This is me in front. Point my hand out the window. And I pointed at the right house. Okay. The right house. And I kept going from there. Then what happened? Then, I think I watched it like a couple days later. It just popped up when I'm playing pool in the garage. And it said, the woman, Egypt. They said Egypt was found dead in the house. I was like, oh my God.
Well, let me ask you this.
And I'm like, hold up. I think that I went to school with the girl and everything like this. I never knew the girl from Campaign because my cousin Mikey is in the same grade basically. Graduated with him when he was saying the girl graduated with me. I know the girl from a Campaign. I told these dudes to go into the right house to get the blood off the table.
How did you know blood was on the table?
They sell weed there. Oh,
I mean, you kick it with it.
yeah, they sell weed.
They sell weed.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people sell weed.
yeah, they sell weed. So, go and get you some. Go ahead.
So how did you know that they weren't going to be there?
Because, I think I tried, I ain't for sure. They could try to get some weed from me. And they was like, oh, no, he's out of town.
Okay, so hold
Hold up, that's what I'm trying to remember. Hold up.
Don't BS me.
No, I'm not BSing you. Because everybody in the neighborhood grabs weed from me. I'm like, shit. I really, swear to God in life, I don't remember who told me because everybody fucks with him on the block. Everybody on Judge Road goes get weed from the white guy, Steve.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though. How did you know Steve didn't run to the store? You knew he was in the house. Well, how did you know he just didn't run to the store or something? Where was he at? Where did Steve go?
They said he was at Electric Forest.
What's Electric Forest?
Don't know.
Is that like a light show or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it is. I never knew what it was. I wanted to look it up and everything and see what it was. I'm like, Electric Forest.
So what I'm saying is this. Electric Forest could be a store around the block. So this is where me and you gotta keep on.
Yeah. And I'm trying to see where I'm.
So listen up. You was comfortable enough telling
I knew I was secure that them people were not home.
Okay, that's all.
Told that they were out of town at electric force.
Okay, so you knew that they were out of town?
Yeah.
Okay,
I knew the house was empty.
you was comfortable with that?
I knew it was empty.
Okay.
So I wasn't sending you in on no bullshit.
Okay, all right, so let me ask you this. What I'm trying to figure out is how did you know that they out of town? I'm gonna tell you, this is what I mean, right? I kick it with people, man. Out of town, some people could be leaving Detroit going to Southfield. That's out of town with them. Hey, out of town, where you go? I'm thinking you went to Chicago or something, right? Well, no, I went up to Belleville, I went to Southfield, I went.
Right.
That's the next city
That's
over.
the city. Say that you went to the next city.
That's the next neighborhood over to me. That's a neighborhood connection.
Yeah, so I think it's like Buck and everybody, you know, that's cool in the room, went to school with him and everything. So like I said, we all looking weed from him.
Okay.
So between 1 out of fucking 5 of those people told me I've been trying to get his weed. Yeah.
1 out of 5. Okay, 1 out of 5. Who?
Maybe like friends, like family, married into people like that.
So this is family you're talking to?
Yeah, basically family every day, grew up with, I work with, all that. Like, we cut the grass at their house.
Oh, so you do landscaping?
Yeah, I do landscaping, roofing, construction.
Okay.
Do it over there at their house.
Okay.
And, you know, that's all, they're going out of town. That's how it was. Yeah, because we had to cut grass that we had been gone for a little minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to piece together because like I said, I don't really know. I just said to them about, hey, they're out of town.
Well,
Nobody.
here's the thing.
And I know I'm trying to work it out.
Okay,
I don't want to be stuttering.
So I told you that I'm gonna keep it real with you. All right. Now I understand that you had a car crash and that you had a head. You know, you hit your head in the crash and it caused you some pain and situation and stuff like that. But I'm also kicking with you. I know you're a highly intelligent dude. I know you are. I can hear how you put your words together and stuff. Trust me. I done talked to some people, Shane. I done talked to some people, Shane, where I know for a fact they didn't know one end from another. They just in this world just floating around like kites. They got no. Absolutely not. You're very, very intelligent. You know what you're talking about. So I don't want you to be like, well, I don't want you to spin me because this is.
I'm not. That's why I hate pausing. That makes me feel like.
No, it's not even the pause. Now I can handle the pause, but my thing is this. That's just like you asking me yesterday, Darren, did you go to the car dealership yesterday? Because I like hot rods. I drag race, right? Did you go to the hot rod shop yesterday? I know damn well I went to the hot rod shop. I know I went there and I know I looked at some parts that I'm about for my car and I'm racing my car next summer the whole 9 yards. But if you begin to ask me and I say, well, yeah, I went there. I don't know what I was looking for though. I'm not sure what I was looking for. Yeah, you do, Derek, because you know what kind of car you got. You know how fast you're trying to go. Mm-hmm. You know what you need to get that car to go that fast. So if I need headers, if I need a new transmission, if I need a shot of nitrous or a supercharger or something, I know what I need for that car. You know what happened in regards to whether or not you knew they was gone because, okay, shit, I cut the grass and I saw them leaving. Or because this person told me. You know which one it was.
I cut grass over there.
Okay, so
yeah, so I don't know how it came, but I knew because like I said I worked with the people. With Buck, Antoine, Johnny, all of them were cutting grass. Okay. Not saying it was that day or something or anything like that, because I was headed to work before I got to RX, so I really didn't know my work schedule was fucked up as I got in the car accident. Okay. Like due to me being in the hospital. Okay. So I think between that time, I knew that he was out of town. I knew he was out of town. I knew nobody wasn't in the house. I said, y'all looking to get some weed? Looking for a lick? I know that's not me. Hey man, you know, we got no money, we looking for a lick. Okay. Oh, alright. Well, I know one spot and I know he's not home. Okay. Nobody's there. And I roll, follow right behind me, turn. They pulling up right behind me. I didn't never stop. I just pointed my hand out the window.
So how do they know? I don't know what the house looked like or nothing. You're gonna have to, we'll draw it out in a second. So here's my question to you is this. You say y'all are going down the street and you just point out the window.
I pointed at the window.
So let me ask you
I
this.
go to the door to the right.
Let me ask you this. So how can you, I couldn't hear that if I'm behind you. I mean, are y'all walkie-talkies, phones or something? What's the deal?
No, before we left the house, I told him, like, hey, my dog Steve, you live over here, you got weed, town, go to the door to the right.
Okay, so now this is what I'm gonna say BS. The BS meter going up on. Cause I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, my thing is this. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I believe everything within me. You and don't take this negative, because I know you're a grown man and you can perform and protect yourself. But you don't come across the type of person that will go out here and hurt somebody on purpose. No. That ain't who you are. I done talked to those guys before, and they give you a cold feeling when they walk through the door. Mm-hmm. You're just like, man, that dude is a cold son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You ain't that guy. Just like people can look at me and tell me I ain't no killer like that. That ain't me. That ain't my lifestyle, right? That ain't my end. So I know for a fact you wasn't planning on this shit jumping off. That's not, and that's the whole thing. Okay.
I didn't want not a fucking cent. I was in the car with some big girl.
Some big girl.
Yeah. I ain't mad.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Steady looking.
Okay.
I'm steady looking, you know. When we went straight to her house, we did not stop. We did not pump no brakes.
Right. Let me ask you this though, man. This is where that BS flag come up, though. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you why. This is daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
It's nighttime. All right. Now, I think my eyes are just as good as anybody walking around right now. And I'm knocking on wood, hoping they stay that way for a while, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if I'm driving down the street, is the lights in Belleville anything like the lights in Detroit? You may have a light out every other street light or something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's just going right. You know what I'm saying? So the chance of it being not as illuminated as it's supposed to be is extremely high. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact, if I'm riding with you, even if you tell me there, we're gonna go to the house right there. When we bend the corner, it's gonna be that house right there. I know for a fact if I've been that corner and I second guess or you point or whatever, what the hell is he pointing at? You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real with you.
I explained it to him, like before we left. 1, 2, 3. This house, this one door. When you go in it, go to the door to the right.
So there's no you in the car with your homie, the girl that you're kicking with, your friend. We're just calling your friend right now, right? You're in the car with your friend. Who behind you?
The other truck with the 3 guys in it.
Okay, the truck with the 3 guys in it. You drive by. Are y'all bumper to bumper, or is this distance between y'all?
Got the white lights on because it's down the dirt road.
So it's dark. So lights on because it's dark.
Yeah, he has his white lights on me.
Right.
Yo.
And the thing about you pointing out the window, did you ever talk to them and say, hey, you sure you're going to the right one? Did you ever talk to them and say, hey, that green house or that blue house or that brown house?
That's what I did before before we had left. I explained the whole house and everything. Okay. And like right when when we turned the corner when we was going, I was like, lights getting in out the window, and I pointed right there.
Okay. What did they do when you pointed?
This is, I swear to God, on my life. I kept going.
But what I'm saying is
they hold on. You got me right there. He didn't call me. He did not call me. I was trying to think that the whole time. And I was trying to ask the detective, like, hey, I want to know myself. Did he call that time right there?
Okay, so here's the deal, man. Here's the deal.
That's what I want to figure out.
Here's the deal. I hope you figure that out. All right? I'm going to help you figure that out. My thing is this. I don't want to go back and talk to them guys, period, right, until me and you know how we going to, you know what I'm saying? But me and you got to be 100% with each other.
I promise I'm on.
But here's the thing, man. You saying you don't know if he called you or not, and you don't know if you called him?
Nah, I know for sure, and in fact, to myself, I did not call him. So you like to come over to my house?
No, I'm talking about right now.
Oh, in exchange of that?
Yeah. If y'all talk, y'all talk.
No, that's what I'm trying to, no. That's why I want to ask, I can tell you exactly if he called or not, because they said I had called him when he was at my house. Then he did call me.
So when did he call you?
He must call me when we turned on the road.
Okay, so y'all talking on the phone now opposed to pointing.
No, I pointed to.
You pointed to. I'm not saying that. You pointed to.
This is it. Right there. This is the house, bro. Right there.
You remember that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know you talking to me, bringing it back to me a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, this
I want the truth.
Do you know if you will? Would you be able to look at your phone and tell? Would that help you or something?
Right now,
I mean,
like, no,
it would help you.
but I'm trying to remember
Well,
what
let
you
me-
had told me.
well-
There at the station.
But get what they talk about. I told you.
Okay.
Let me ask you this then. Would you be able to explain your phone connected to your stepbrother's phone? If your phone called his phone and his phone called your phone that day, would you dispute that? Did nobody else have your phone, did they?
No.
Okay, so if y'all phone numbers connect, would you say, okay, yeah, I have your phone? Okay. Now, after you point out the crib, and drive by, what happened?
I kept going.
You kept going.
I kept going. I did nothing else after that.
You go to your homegirl house.
So,
Y'all get it in or whatever, right?
Yup.
Okay. Did you spend the night with her?
Yup.
Okay. So you spend the night with her. Anytime at night, while you with your girl, do you hear anything from them?
Hold up. He said wrong door. He texted me wrong door.
He texted you wrong door.
Yeah. I didn't know that's all he texted me. Yeah, he
What
texted me wrong door.
what time was that when he texted you wrong door?
At night, 10, 15 minutes afterwards.
10 or 15 minutes
Afterwards,
afterwards. Okay. Who texted you wrong door?
my brother.
Your brother. Okay. So he texted you wrong door. Do you respond? What do you say?
I did not respond.
Okay. So you said that was about 10 or 15 minutes after you drove by and pointed out the house. Is that right or wrong?
Wrong door. He said wrong door. I said wrong door. I don't see that's where I'm now lost, because that's like little bitty stuff. I just remember him texting me wrong door. Now me, I might have responded back or I might have not, but I know in the back of my mind, I don't think I responded back to him, because I think I might have picked the phone up later on.
Okay.
So I didn't like, okay, well, shit, this happened. Like, it says, when he texts me.
So he's like pissed, like, motherfucker, you said the wrong door.
He wasn't. That's what really tripped me out.
Okay, he just texts wrong door.
Yeah.
Just those two words, wrong door. He said, hey man,
Nope, he said wrong door.
wrong door. That's all.
Wrong door.
Okay.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Wrong door.
Whoops, wrong door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say wrong. Here it comes. It's wrong door. I want to say I texted back, go to the right door. He said, oops.
Oh.
And I think me, not thinking nothing else of me, way on down the road.
Okay.
So it's just like, well, you didn't get nothing, nigga, so that's your fault. You went to the wrong door. I guess you didn't get shit.
So y'all don't talk on the phone no more? This is all through text.
Yeah, that was the last thing I heard from him right there.
Okay, so then you make it to your girl house.
Me,
Right. And then you and your brother, y'all had the little beef based on what? The car accident. But outside of that, y'all cool.
Yeah, y'all cool. We was cool. Like, we was cool, and he made it something else.
Okay.
Fuck him up. If you don't give me no money, blah, blah, tell him that shit.
So even after the money situation, you ain't trying to fight with him. It ain't that kind of reason.
Yeah, I'm injured.
Whatever, man. You know, I still love you, my brother. You mad because you ain't get no change. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Right. You fucked me up.
Right. You driving crazy, mess me up, or get me in a car crash. I get paid. Hey, man, I deserve to get paid. I'm the one hurt. I can't work right now. Whatever, right?
Right.
But what I'm saying is this. Y'all cool enough to where you and your brother have contact and he say, hey, man, I'm trying to hit a lick. And you say, well, I know where you can go. Right? All right. So you comfortable telling your brother, you can hit this lick right here because I know ain't nobody there. I know ain't nobody there, right?
It's over, so.
All right. So my question to you now is, when shit went sideways in the house, when did your brother tell you about it? He told you.
He didn't tell me.
He didn't tell you
I swear to God, he did not tell me.
He never told
When
you.
I seen the news, I think he tried to talk to me, but I wasn't having it.
What you mean he tried to talk to you?
I think he was like, do you know what happened? Bro, I don't want to know. Leave me alone.
So hold on.
I did not let him talk. I did not let him say it.
Especially over the phone or
No,
something.
not on the phone. Yeah, not on the phone, no nothing. I'm done.
Let me ask you this question. I want you to be honest with me. When you saw it on the news, you already knew what happened, right?
I'm thinking in my head, like, I hope he didn't do no stupid fucking shit like this.
Well, let me.
And so basically that's answering your question, right?
Well, I don't want you to listen here, man. I don't want you to basically answer me and you talking. I done kept it 100 with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you again, straight up. When you saw it on the news, you already knew what time it was. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with you. But what I'm saying, you didn't do it.
Right.
That's the.
I'm thinking like nigga.
Y'all fucked up. That's exactly what I said. Well, my thing is this. I'm asking you to tell me now.
Now I'm glad I break it down.
Right. I'm asking you to tell me now. When you saw that, did you know right then, man, these motherfuckers are fucked up.
Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You were keeping real,
I
man.
was saying that.
You were saying that, man. Damn. So now when your brother called you and began to talk to you,
I don't want to hear it.
you don't want to hear. Why you don't want to
I
hear?
don't want to hear it.
Why you don't
I
want to
don't
hear?
want to be involved.
There you go.
I don't want to be involved. I didn't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear. Because you already know, man.
Leave me alone. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Love you. Bye.
Right.
Love you. Bye. Then when I got my little money.
So you got your money after this?
Yeah, I got a car accident. Then I know the time that this happened. That happened. So it was a car accident. Couple of days. Really, I think he came by to stop by to check on me. Then it was like, hey, bro, you got a lick? Yeah, I got something over here. And didn't hear from me. I didn't know the little text message. That's what I remember. I didn't hear from him. When I saw the news, maybe a couple of days later, or a day or two later, somebody tried to come over. He tried to come over. He didn't even try to come over. He did. He tried to come over. It's like, man, you wanna know what happened? And then I shot over. Shit.
Did he ever? And like I say,
I didn't let him talk. I did not. I promise. I did not let him tell me things I didn't want to know nothing. If he did that, I didn't want to know shit. I left you out. I isolated you from there. If you did that, that's on you, and you need to take full blame for what the fuck you did. Because now that I got this kid coming, it's just like, hey, man, I got something to lose now. It's something I always wanted.
That's
And so now, that's it. Like,
Did he ever come and tell you exactly what happened?
No.
He never tell you anything of what happened?
He tried to and I did not. I shut him down. He was like, do you want to know what happened? No. Don't never want to know what happened.
Because you really already knew. You just didn't want to.
Some of y'all niggas fucked up.
Did they say how much weed they got? They didn't
And
have
we
weed.
not in the wrong
House.
It was the front door. It's the front door, and it's a door. Okay, this is the door. This is the door. You walk through the front door, open it up, got a door on this side and a door on this
So
side.
it's a duplex.
Yes, it's our duplex.
Okay.
I told him to go to the right. I knew 100% nobody was in that house. They did not go to the right door. They did not go to the right door. And then when he texted me and said, oops, I think no. Okay, nobody was there. You didn't get no weed. You didn't find nothing. Nigga, that's your fault.
Let me ask you this, honestly. So it's one house that you point out. You tell them on the phone, this is the place. It's one door.
One big door, big, super long
One
house.
big super long house.
Yeah, it's longer than all the houses on the
Okay.
block.
But it's one door that they initially go through. They couldn't got confused, honestly.
I said, when you go to the front, the first door, go to the right when you enter the first door. The front, once you enter that front door, there's a hallway.
Okay.
And you go to the right.
Where were you at when you told them this? Was this in the car?
When you was at my house.
So y'all talked about it before y'all even left the crib.
Yeah.
So they won't mess it up.
Yes.
So y'all discussed it before y'all even left your crib.
Yes.
Was your girl there too?
Mhm.
She hadn't got there yet? How did she get into this? How did she drive,
She just pulled up.
So,
She pulled up and not knowing, like, she came. I'm like, oh, come on in, girl.
okay.
This is my brother, you know, about this split. And I say, come on, we gotta go.
So if she hadn't came, what was the plan then? How was y'all gonna get it?
Figure it out.
But how was they gonna know which
How
house?
would you call me?
Was you just gonna rap out with them?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't gonna get in the car with them, nothing.
Your brother showed up to your house with two other dudes. One of the dudes is who?
Chico.
One of the dudes is Chico.
You know,
And who was the second guy?
some dark ass skinny I never knew. I guess they call him Art.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay, so what we know is your brother showed up with two dudes. Chico being one of them. Third dude, you have no idea.
No idea.
Okay. They telling you that they want to get some weed. But they ain't got no money. They do. Okay, let me ask you.
No, you saying it right. I'm just saying, yeah.
No, I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what did they say? How did they say?
Came in, the same way as we. My question was, it's money. Okay. No. Okay, gotta go for a lick. Okay. Got my man's house over here, you know, he gone for sure. Okay. The house is, you know, by this split. You know, by big house on the block, the longest house on the block, but you cannot miss it. Okay. All right, cool. Go ahead. They didn't leave yet. She pulled up. He's like, can you show us? I'm not going with y'all. Well, can you ask her to drive? I said, yeah. Okay. They jumped in their car. They followed. We got to the dirt road. He turned his bright lights on. And I pointed, and I think that's when he called me. I said, which one is it? I said, the one where I stuck my hand out the window. He said, with the one door in the middle.
So he asked you this stuff.
Yeah, the one door in the middle. Once that, yes, he called me, and I pointed, and I was like, well, you know, I pointed, and he called me, and he was like, that is, yeah. I took off. I didn't see him at all. At all. I didn't see him at all no more.
Okay. I tell you what.
And that's like, like 15 minutes after I said 15, maybe 20, he had texted me, wrong door. I said, right door, let's go to the door on the right. He was like, oops. like, yeah, on the news, I seen it, I'm like, I hope that ain't them. Knowing, like, I really hope that ain't them. That's not them. It's, it's nigga instinct, like, you. Oh, no, I can't, man. I'm talking to myself. Oh, no, hell no. Let me ask you this. I wouldn't do nothing. When you get involved with.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I'm skipping over the next 4 or 5 minutes of the video, fast forwarding, and the reason for that is that it doesn't pertain particularly to Shane Evans.
That's fine.
But anyway, I thought he was in.
You say you knew that guy wasn't gonna be at home. What's his name to do that? Steve. Okay. So everybody knows Steve, the weed man. He goes out some weed from him. Mm-hmm. Cool. How long you been buying weed from Steve? He been hot for a minute? Okay.
Before weed got legal.
Before y'all got legal?
Yeah, before weed got legal.
Oh, before weed got legal?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this, man. You say you knew he wasn't going to be home because you cut grass and stuff there. That's part of the reason why you know where
I didn't know him. I feel like cut grass basically through friends too that buy weed from him too. And for Steve that needs weed off Steve all the time.
Okay, so
man, me cutting grass, I'm going to ask some people. Say, well, fuck Steve, like, can I get some weed from y'all? Oh yeah, Steve gone. Him and his people, they left.
Okay, hold on. Now I'm confused. So you cut grass.
Yep.
What company you cut grass for?
A&J Lawn Service.
A&J Lawn Service. Okay, so I'm assuming A&J Lawn Service got a contract with Steve's property?
They might. Okay, well, we do have contract for everybody, but Steve is their friend.
Steve's their friend.
Steve gets his grass cut whenever he makes the phone call to get his grass cut.
Okay. So you got
me being in the car accident, so I haven't known he wasn't out of town when I got into my car accident.
Right.
So between the car accident, in between that time, he had to leave. He had to have been gone. That's when I knew he was. So that's when I was told that I was taking the weed from Steve. He's at the town. He's at the electric force.
Okay. And you don't know what the electric force is. I want to know what that is.
I'm gonna take it up.
Okay, the electric force.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? All right.
Right.
Let me ask you this now. So, if you say you've been messing with Steve on the weed tip for a minute, how long, what would you say?
He was
electric force. I see what this is. Like a light show or something. Okay. You been messing with it for how long? Couple years.
4 years.
About 4 years.
Going to cutting grass.
Oh, so you've been working there about 4 years.
Yeah, when for the car accident.
Right. So you know what kind of weed Steve got, whether it's good or not.
Yeah, he got trash, all right, weed, mid-grade, things like that.
You know, yeah, whatever was the best way.
Basically, but he's gonna tell you I got the bullshit weed right now.
Let me ask you a question, man. Now, has Steve's crib ever been hit before?
That I don't know about.
Jay's grass cutting, right?
Mm-hmm.
They must know Steve because you say he got the phone call treatment. He got the VIP treatment.
Yeah.
He can call, come look me up. Tighten him up, right? Who owned A&J then for him to be able to call and say, yo, come cut my grass, then they come that day? Because I couldn't get that treatment.
Oh, you can't get that treatment?
No, I can't
Oh,
call
well,
it.
that's their friend, right?
That's their friend. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so he'll call and he'll be like, hey,
Who are they? That's what I'm saying.
A&J Lawn Service, Antoine and Johnny the ones. It's like A&J, so they both on, all three of them on the bill.
Oh, it's three. Okay, you
Yeah.
said A and J.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the A is for.
A and J. So it's both Juan and Johnny starts, with the J. So,
Okay, so it's Juan, Johnny, and who else?
oh, Antoine.
Antoine. Juan, Johnny, Antoine.
Yeah, but Juan, it was his business, like a long time ago when he first started. Juan didn't want to let the A and J for Antoine and Johnny. But in legal work, paperwork, it says Antoine and Juan.
Okay. Okay. So you cool with them as well?
Yeah.
All right.
I call Juan.
So even talk through them, street talk anywhere, you ain't never heard of anything happening before at this place?
No. Now,
So let me ask
let
you.
me say this. Way back. I think before I got locked up,
When you get locked up?
2014.
2014.
I want to say around that era that I guess they had a dispute with their own kind. Somebody came and devoted them out to a weed, basically. Like, hey,
They
nigga,
their own kind. What you talking about?
their own people. They're people like,
Their own family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, just give me this what I heard. Like, they took the weed. They know who took it, and they just left it as that. But now when he told me, the detective told me, like, oh, this happened a year before the incident. I was like, oh yeah, I'm for sure confident.
Okay, so again, let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
You say you was confident that Steve was gone. You was confident, so when you told Chico and Timmy and the other dude, hey, this is the place to hit the lick, you were confident that Steve was gone. Why were you so confident?
Because I knew he was out of town at Electric Forest. I was hired because I was trying to get some weed from him. I was trying to buy weed for my damn self.
But what I'm saying is, how was you so confident? How you didn't know he was gonna come back that night? You didn't know what the Electric Fest is. You don't know whether out of town is Toledo, whether out of Gary, Indiana, whether out of town is Windsor, Ontario. Okay. All of them places is within driving distance pretty quick.
I knew he wasn't out of town. I knew he was out of town. That's why I sent him over there.
I know that. What I'm saying is, how did you know he wasn't coming back that night? How was you so confident he ain't gonna pull up while they're there?
Because he would probably call me back or something like, hey, Shane, you come get you some weed now. He could have been like that. That's how I knew, because I've been trying to get some weed all week.
So you'd have been in there to buy weed before?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
You told me this. You can buy from it.
Yeah, we cut grass. He come bring the weed over the porch to me.
Let me. So when you sent them to the crib, how did you know how they was going to get in? You told them to go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you know? I mean,
He leaves the door unlocked all the time.
he leaves the door unlocked
All the time. And his friends go in there, drop money off, all that, and why he's not there? Is the door be open?
You knew the door was going to be unlocked. That's how he rolled.
That's how he rolled.
Okay. Putting it all together, I'm trying to picture it, yeah. So,
So that concludes the portion of the interview I'm playing, Your Honor. And with that, I have no questions of Sergeant Jordan.
You don't have any questions, Ms.
No,
Joseph?
Judge.
Mr. Goldstein, Ms. Watt?
No further questions.
Okay. Thank you, Sergeant.
Yeah, but we'll call her.
Next witness.
Your Honor, the people are going to call Sergeant Benjamin Harless, and we're contacting him right now.
You are needed.
Harless, Defense Counsel. Harless is the other CBA sent you with respect to the video. Are we stipulating to his qualifications?
Qualifications, yes.
Okay.
Do you have any short stipulations that you want to go through?
Judge, I can put some, I don't know that there's stipulations, but I can admit some records through 76611B. The first record that I'll admit is People's Exhibit 10. And this is a State of Michigan Department of State Police Biometrics and Identification Division. And it's a notice of CODIS association with investigative information. And the results indicate, a search of a combined DNA index database resulted in an association between item NV 172370-2A3, swabs of lights 3 of 5, and DNA database specimen number M109-006185. And specifically, that DNA database specimen information came back to Timothy Moore, date of birth 2/13/1986. So I'd move for admission of People's Proposed 10.
And Judge, for the record, we are objecting. MCL 766.11B, it does allow for the admission of certain laboratory reports that indicate findings. And it specifically does not include police investigative reports. We would suggest to this court that this is an investigative report. The heading of this report is investigative information only. This report does not contain actual findings. It does not contain percentages of likelihood of any sort of
You don't
DNA.
think that, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but you don't think that it's a finding when it makes it, I mean, it may not be to your term of a finding under the rule, but it makes a conclusion, which is a finding.
Well, it states that there's an association and then requires, not suggests, but requires that another sample be done. So in my opinion, this is a report saying that there's some investigative information. It's alerting law enforcement, you need to go take another sample, send it back to the lab so we can do more investigation. So I think this is an investigatory report, and in most other circumstances, there would be a confirmed lab report, which I would agree would fall under this rule, but this investigative information report, I don't think so.
Ms. Shackelford?
Your Honor, I disagree with defense counsel's interpretation of 76611B. Your Honor, first and foremost, I think that the argument would go to the weight of the evidence, not necessarily the admissibility of the evidence. I think the court can give this CODIS hit whatever weight the court believes it holds. But with respect to admission, Your Honor, I certainly think it's admissible under the statute. Specifically, the statute says, except for police investigative report, a report prepared by a law enforcement officer or other public agency. Reports permitted under this section include, but are not limited to, a report of the findings of a technician of the Division of the Department of State Police concerned with forensic science, a laboratory report, a medical report, a report of an arson investigator, or an autopsy report. And certainly, Your Honor, I believe that this report falls within what's outlined in the statute.
Any other?
Judge, I would just suggest and point out that this statute was designed to reduce the number of times that laboratory technicians were coming in and testing these. This
I am
without,
more than familiar with
of course, and without having a laboratory technician that I can cross-examine, I don't think that it's possible for the court to fully determine the weight that should be given to this, should it be admissible.
I'm going to allow it for exam purposes.
And
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, that's People's 10 and publishing.
Your Honor, I would just simply say, I'm not objecting to the same grounds that Ms. Joseph is, but I would object on the basis it's not relevant to my client.
I understand.
Well, Your Honor, I guess I'm going to respond to that objection with.
Well, it's not an I mean, it doesn't, I mean, there are things that have been then discussed that don't have anything to do with your client. I mean, you're not objecting to every single thing that's been testified to. And so in this document doesn't have your client's name attached to it or any identifying. And so what you're not really objecting, you're making it known to the court that I can't consider anything on this document as it relates to any bind over consideration of the court in regards to your client. And it's noted and it's
exactly right.
It's obvious by the document itself.
Well, I mean, I guess my response was, I won't make one. That's fine.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Have a seat.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and employment capacity for the record?
Benjamin Harless, I'm a detective with your Dearborn Police Department.
Okay. And Detective Harless, do you have any training or expertise in any specific fields as a detective in Dearborn?
Yes, I specialize in forensic video acquisition and analysis.
I'm sorry, did you spell your last name for the record?
It's Harless. That's like Sam.
And did you go through training and education to qualify in that field?
I did.
Okay. And did you have you testified before in court as an expert in that field?
I have.
And have you gone to gone through substantial training in the field of forensic video acquisition and analysis?
Yes, I have somewhere in the vicinity of 144 hours of training in video production and acquisition, and another 200 plus in video analysis.
And Your Honor, I believe there's a stipulation with respect to the witness's field of expertise being forensic video acquisition and analysis.
As to his qualifications, yes, Your Honor.
I agree, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, and sir, I'm showing you it's People's Proposed 35. Do you recognize what I'm handing you?
Yes, as my CV.
All right, and does that outline in detail all of the hundreds of hours you've received in this field?
It does.
Of training? Okay. Move for admission of People's Proposed 35.
No objection for exam purposes.
Same here, Your Honor.
It's admitted for exam purposes.
And sir, I want to ask you specifically, were you provided with some video from the Michigan State Police with a request that you analyze that video?
I was provided with a single file.
Okay, and can you tell me, do you recall what the address or the location of that video was, or is that not pertinent to what you do?
That was not pertinent to it.
Okay, and were you asked to do anything specific with that video?
Yes, a blue truck was identified as entering the lot. I was requested to perform any analysis I could to clarify the identity of the vehicle and or the occupants of it.
Okay, and do you see on the screen there, just want to get to you. Do you see on the screen there what looks like a, well, it's the beginning of a video clip?
I do.
And do you recognize what's on that screen?
Yes, that's consistent with the field of view of the video that was provided.
Okay, and is that the video that you provided work on to possibly put it in another more playable format and then do some specific analysis on?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, at that, I would move for the admission of People's Proposed 4A.
No objection for exam purposes.
Same here, Your Honor.
It's admitted for exam purposes.
And permission to publish. Ms. McDuffie, can we move it down to, I know that's a full clip, to about 11:39 or 11:40 PM? And Your Honor, I'm just walking around because I think I know this video a little better. And just for the record, I'm starting this at, the time on the stamp down here is, can you pause it? Is 23:40:46. And is there a way to just go back a little second? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, it'll start playing right there.
Ready to start again?
Yeah, please press play, sorry. And Ms. McDuffie, can you read the timestamp right there?
I'll try. I think it says 23:10:44.
Your Honor, is the court okay if I just go stand up by the screen for this testimony?
I don't care.
So what's that? 23:39, that's a good place to start. We're starting at 23:39:56.
Give it to me again, 23,
39:56.
39:56, got it.
And Detective, can you see the screen from where you are? Am I in your way?
I can.
Okay. And you see here, right here at 23:40:41, do you see these two vehicles turning on the road here?
I do.
You're fine, I can stand if I have to.
So I guess I'm just gonna ask a question or two while we're letting the video roll. Sergeant, this is a full capture of the video that you were provided by Michigan State Police?
That is correct.
And then out of it, do you recall at some point around 11:43 that truck pulling into that gas
Your Honor, I'm
station?
going to object to the narration of the video. The video is the evidence.
I'm gonna ask him what he's doing, what he did with it.
You can ask him what he did with it.
All right. Were you asked to do anything specific with that time period?
Yes, I was asked to isolate that truck in particular and to see if there's anything I could do to clarify, again, the identification of the vehicle or the occupants. In the process of doing so, I took the original video, first converted it into a uncompressed version of the original, and then also created a trimmed down version that was also uncompressed in order to make it easier to work.
And you provided that trimmed down version to Michigan State Police?
I did.
Sir, do you see right here, what do you see on the vehicle or on the video?
I see a blue, appears to be a Dodge Ram entering the parking lot. It'll come, pull forward, stop for a extended period of time, and then reverse back and drive out of the parking lot.
All right, and is this the footage in particular around the 2343 mark that you processed?
It is.
And sir, do you see here at 23:49:49, we see a blue truck heading back and turning on the road there?
That's correct.
Did you do anything specifically with that portion of the video?
I reviewed it, but due to the distance of the camera and the speed, I didn't do any analysis on it.
Okay, thank you. So sir, did you make a trimmed video you indicated of when that vehicle was in the lot of that parking lot there that we saw?
That's correct.
All right, and can you tell me, what did you do to the video? Did you modify it in any way? Did you change it? What'd you do?
So the original trick for just the trimmed video, you're asking?
Correct.
So I use a program called Input Ace. It's a forensic analysis software. So in that, it does get converted in what we call an uncompressed format, which means it's pixel to pixel per frame. So there will be no difference, even on the forensic level, between the original and that uncompressed version. It simply changes what we call the codec, which is the encoder and decoder, which is how a program reads the data that's within that video.
Okay. I'm going to show you, we can go on. I'm going to just come over there full time.
Bring your drive.
Can you hand me my hard drive? I'm sorry, Judge, we're having a minor technical issue. And sir, do you see what I'm looking at here? It looks like it's timestamped 23:42:56 on 4/22/17. Do you recognize this?
Yes,
All right, is this that trimmed version that you made of that truck in that parking lot?
that's correct.
Okay, you're ready to move for admission of people's proposed exhibit 4B.
No objection for exam purposes.
No objection. I think you said 422. I think you meant 622. When you asked me that, you
Oh,
said.
I'm sorry, yes, 6/22/17, thank you.
But I have no objection.
No objection for
It's
exam
admitted for exam purposes.
Permission to publish. And this isn't slowed down or sped up, this is real time.
That is correct.
Let's start another clip for you here, and this is people's proposed 4C. And is this just another shot that you took or trimmed version that you took?
That would be correct. So with that version, there would be a levels adjustment, basically the overall tone that's visible in order to, it doesn't add anything, but brings out the contrast between lights and darks and makes it easier to see the edges. And then that's been resized as well.
Okay. And that was 4C. I'm sorry, did I move for the admission of 4C?
No,
I don't
No.
All
think
right,
so.
well, Your Honor, I move for the admission of 4C.
No objection for exam purposes.
no objection.
It's admitted for exam purposes.
One more. And again here, this is people's proposed 4D. Is that another video that you, clip that you made?
That would be correct.
And again, are you trying to get a better view of the occupants or of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Move for admission of people's proposed 4D.
No objection for exam purposes.
Same here, Your Honor.
All right, and that went quick, so I'm just gonna publish it again. That was the beginning.
That was it.
And Sergeant, you also, you took some stills of those images, so, correct?
I did.
Okay, and those again were just stills you took from that video?
Correct. Some had different filters applied to them in order to assist and clarify.
All right, so when you say different filters, you're not talking about changing anything in the video, you're just lightening up or darkening up, am I correct on that?
So some of the stills, I know in particular the front license plate would have had what we call a frame averaging, which does in fact change the data. Yes.
Okay. But does it change, what do you mean it changes the data?
So what a frame average stack does is we isolate a series of frames of, say in this case, we focus on the front license plate. You stabilize the image on that front license plate, and it takes the average tonal value from each of those frames, and then applies that. And so you're averaging out the noise. If you watch video, a lot of times you see what we call snow in the background. You see little errors in the recording every once in a while. Well, those don't get repeated consistently throughout the frames. Only the true data really gets repeated consistently. So by doing a frame average stack, what it does is it averages out that noise, those errors, to where it isolates just the actual true data that was recorded.
Okay, and those images have previously been admitted as 5A, 5B, and 5C, just so the court's aware if the court wants to review those. I have no further questions.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You testified that the clips the prosecution has played, they have, I think you called it a levels adjustment. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you explain to me what a levels adjustment is?
So the easiest way to explain it is almost like where you walk into, if you were to walk into a dark room, you have shadows, there's not a large difference in what's the lightest part in the room, what's the darkest part of the room. All the objects are still there. It's just harder to see. So what a levels adjustment does is you look at, in digital video, you have tonal values of 0 to 255. So 0 being pitch black, 255 being completely white. And so your monitor can only display so many variants in between those values. And so what a levels adjustment does is that we look at it and we say, well, if there's no data between, we'll just say 0 and 50, well, we don't display 0 to 50. We start at 50, 50 becomes 0, and then true white still stays at 255, and it just expands the amount of slight variations within those colors that your monitor is able to display. So it's like walking in and turning on the light, where you can now see the difference between the floor, the walls, the ceilings more readily.
Okay, so it sounds to me like it would kind of brighten the picture. Is that correct?
Brighten, darken, however, depending on what you're starting with.
Okay, and in this particular clip, do you know whether you brightened it or darkened it?
This would have been lightning,
Okay,
generally.
all right. And it seems like it would be possible then that a levels adjustment could alter or skew how light or dark an individual's skin tone looked. Is that correct?
It would be possible in the way that it was displayed if you were to drive it too far to where you're starting to eliminate data. And so what the software that we use does is it has a filter on there that alerts you that if anything you're driving goes past what the data is. So really your levels adjustment is more of toning it to what the actual color is, as opposed to what the camera may have not quite captured or displayed properly.
So do these clips that were shown today, do those clips have filters on them?
The clips?
Yeah, the moving, yes, the moving.
Yes, the original and the trimmed, the first two do not. Those
Okay.
were raw, uncompressed copies. Now the short clip of, I believe it's titled Driver and Occupants, the short clips of the vehicle, those do have levels.
Okay. All right, were you asked to enhance any other vehicles or portions of this video?
I was not.
And it's my understanding that you attempted to enhance a license plate, but you weren't able to do so enough to determine what the characters of that plate were, right?
Of the specific character, no.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge of why the screen goes blue at certain points?
Yeah, so based on the metadata, it tells me that video came from a GeoVision system, or at least a program operating off of GeoVision's operating system. There are two ways to export video from there. There's one to save as AVI, is the title, and the other is as a backup. What that tells me is that this camera was set to record motion only. And
Okay.
if you do save as AVI on a motion only GeoVision camera, it records any gaps between the motion with the blue screen.
Understood. Nothing further. Thank you.
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Shackelford?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sergeant Harless, thank you. You're all set. I have a couple things over there.
Thank you.
Thank you. And your next witness?
We're gonna call Ken Dandy.
Who is that? Who are you calling?
Ken Dandy, Dandy. He's right outside. I can text him.
Yeah, and do you know what their lunch status is? Is it gonna be, you're gonna have it here at 1? Okay, yeah, so we'll just go for like 15 minutes and then we'll take a break.
He should be very.
Yeah, that's fine. After this witness, how many more witnesses do you have?
Your Honor, we have Detective Chang on Zoom. She should be very short. And then we have Detective Amador and Sergeant Plummer. I think that's it.
Okay,
I want to double check. but
no,
I'm
that's
pretty
fine.
sure
I'm just
that's it.
asking. I'm not gonna hold you to it.
I have no idea.
He was right outside the courtroom in a chair. I'm just gonna go check.
Okay.
He is, okay.
It's a little more.
And then if you can raise your right hand, solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Have a seat. Go ahead, Ms. Shackle first.
Thank you. Sir, can you state your name and employment capacity?
It's Kenneth Dandy. I work for Van Buren Township Police.
Okay, do you do anything particular at Van Buren Township?
Technology?
Okay, and are you like an IT guy?
Yes.
All right, do you recall a homicide that happened back in June of 2017 on Hull Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you asked to go and extract any video with respect to that homicide investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and can you tell me, do you recall where you went?
The Citgo on the corner of Sumter and Hall.
And when you went to, do you know when you went to that location?
It was Monday, the 26th of June, approximately 9:30 in the morning.
And did you meet with an employee?
Yes.
Or, all right, and were you able to extract video?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and do you recall a time frame that you extracted?
It was like 2,100 hours to 0700,
Okay, if, what's 2100?
9 o'clock, 9
Nine.
p.m.
9 p.m., okay, and into the next morning at about 7 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and was all that video preserved by yourself or another officer at Van Buren Police Department?
Yes.
And ultimately, as this investigation progressed, did you produce that video to the Michigan State Police?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and was that video of just looking out onto the corner of Sumter and Hull Road?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Any, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Did you do anything when you got that footage to confirm the timestamp listed on the footage?
So typically what we'll do is I'll look, and if there's a huge discrepancy, I'll go out and stand in front of the cameras and look at my watch or my cell phone just to get a time, come back in, make a copy of that video, and then that'll coordinate with the video to show if there's a huge time gap.
Okay. Do you know if you did that on
I don't
June
remember there being
26th,
a huge time
2017?
gap on that.
Okay, so you don't think you did that then? Did you watch the live footage of that gas station footage on June 26, 2017 when you were at the Citgo?
For a little bit, there was 10 hours of video, so I watched at the beginning and then at the, towards like 7 a.m.
So I'm sorry, and my question is whether on June 26, 2017, when you were there getting the footage, if you watched live footage appearing on that date?
Whatever was on the screen before I logged into, yes, for a split second.
Okay. Were you asked to go to any other businesses to obtain footage?
2 or 3 plus the fire station that sits kind of kitty corner.
Do you recall where those other 2 or 3 businesses you were asked to get footage from were?
Cocoa Beach, Tanning, and I don't know the name, but it's near Haggerty and Huron River Drive.
And do you recall obtaining footage from those locations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you got footage from Cocoa Beach and one other location, right?
Yes.
What about, I'm sorry, did you mention the fire?
The fire station,
Station?
unfortunately, the camera that faces Sumter and Hall was non-functioning.
Okay. Were you asked to go to a Geisler Automotive?
Yes.
Okay. And did you obtain footage from there?
I can't be sure. That could be the business that I'm thinking of.
how many camera angles do you recall there being at the Citgo gas station?
At least 4. I remember the 2 that kind of pertain to what we were looking at, the Sumter and Hall Road. I can't be 100% sure.
Right, there were more than just one.
Yes.
Okay. And did you get the footage for all of those camera angles?
No, just the 2 that were facing the roads.
Okay, but you did get footage from 2 different camera angles?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, other than the this video and the other 2 videos we talked about, did you obtain any other video footage of any kind in this investigation?
No.
Thank you.
No questions, Your Honor.
No question.
Any follow-up, Ms. Shackelford?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Officer Gandy. I guess we will go ahead and break, or do you want
Do you want me to put in the?
why don't we
medical
try to
examiner's
admit a couple of things for a minute?
Your Honor, this is People's Proposed Exhibit 1, and this is the medical examiner's report. I do believe I have a stipulation with respect to the identity of the decedent in this case, being Jacqueline Elizabeth Egypt Covington. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct, Your Honor.
This report was performed by Dr. David Moons on June 25th, 2017 at the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office. If Dr. Moons were present today, he would be qualified in the field of forensic pathology and would be qualified to give an opinion as to cause and manner of death. And Your Honor, I'd move for admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 1.
No objection for exam purposes.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted for
Thank you.
exam purposes.
And thank you. And
Go
just for the record, the summary and opinion section states, it is my opinion that death was caused by a gunshot wound at the head. And it goes on, there's a summary and opinion as to the angle and direction of the bullet. Your Honor, I will allow the court to read that. But the manner of death was listed as homicide.
Thank you. Anything else?
I have some that I can either admit now through business records, or I can do it with the witness on the stand with Plummer.
It's your preference.
I think I'll do that with my witness, so it makes more sense.
So any other requests for admissions that aren't tied to a witness?
I do not believe so, Jake, but I will double check over lunch.
That's fine. That's fine. Then I'm going to stop the live stream and we will adjourn for 45 minutes to, or a little bit more than that. We'll adjourn to 1:45. Okay?
Thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you, Judge.
Or-